Well, yesterday, Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward gave her State of the City speech. And at KREM 2, we're committed to bringing you more to every story. So we asked Mayor Woodward on the show this morning to provide more context and to answer some of your questions.
So Mayor Woodward, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We sure do appreciate it. But we want to talk about the death of Tyree Nichols. It's a renewed conversation about police accountability. It's something that you talked about in your State of the City address yesterday. What are some of the things that Spokane is doing to increase police accountability?
Well, we have an ombudsman commission and an ombudsman who looks over police oversight, very robust. That's been in place for at least 10 years, and we're always updating how we can better provide public safety and keep everybody safe. The police reform measures of 2021 in the state legislature did roll back some of the tools that police have in order to keep themselves safe and the community safe. So the police chief and I have been very busy at this legislative session this year advocating to get some of those tools back. One of the things that we really do need, though, is more police officers. For a city our size, we are well below the national average. We need about 90 to 100 more police officers. So we've advocated for more funding to cities to be able to staff up at the levels that we should be. Pursuit laws that have changed in the last couple of years. We're trying to change that so that officers can pursue known criminals and suspects. We've seen crime rise, and that's impeded them from being able to do that. So one of the things that we're asking for is that the threshold for pursuits be lowered from probable cause to reasonable suspicion, and we're hopeful that that will get through.
And I should have mentioned, I asked that question because that's something that the viewers have texted in this morning. That was the #1 question when we said you were coming in onto the show. They wanted to know about that. Is this what you're hearing from your constituents?
Well, we're hearing that public safety is their #1 priority, and it's the fundamental responsibility of government. And so we spend a lot of time making sure that we have a safe community. One of the things that we did in January of this year was launch a new staffing model. So we have more patrols on duty and more patrols in neighborhoods. And so we've divided the city into 4 quadrants. We have more officers in those 4 quadrants so that they can be invested in the neighborhoods in their sector. And it's already proving to be very, very successful. Our officers in Northwest Spokane have seen the activity of burglaries, and they're able to adjust how they can be more proactive to prevent burglaries. And so we see what I hear predominantly in every neighborhood council I go to, every business I talk to, every constituent I talk to, it's public safety. And they want more officers. And they want officers to be able to do the job that they signed up to do.
Now, another question that we've had is about affordable housing and then the rise of homelessness. And I know recently there's been a collaboration between the city of Spokane, Spokane Valley, and even the county in trying to build a collaborative effort to stop the rise in homelessness. What do you see that collaboration looking like in the years to come?
I'm really excited for that collaboration because I think we work and we can accomplish more when we're working together. And homelessness is not a city of Spokane issue, it's a regional issue. And so many of us went to Houston in October of last year to see how that city, the 4th largest city in the country, has moved the needle. They've reduced homelessness by 65% in the last 10 years. And they've done it through housing is one of the ways that they've approached that, but also getting people off the street, removing encampments, sending individuals to a navigation center where they have wraparound services, which is really what TRAC, our Trent Resource and Assistance Center, is doing. Getting people off the street, into a bed, 3 meals a day with wraparound services for whatever the needs are that they have, whether it's drug addiction services, mental health services, job training, all of those things. We have that now in Spokane. So one of the things that we found out was we're actually doing what Houston is doing, but we need help on the housing side of things. So we do have some funding streams now. We have 1590, which is something the City Council supported, and it raises the sales tax so that we can fund low-income and affordable housing. Those housing units aren't going to pop up out of the ground right away. It's going to take several years for us to be able to build the units that we need. We have a housing crisis right now. So these facilities like TRAC and some of the other shelters that we have are the transition for people as they wait for the housing options that are available. At least they're getting the help that they need to make them successful when those housing units are available.
And the next question I have actually wasn't addressed yesterday afternoon, but it is a question that we're receiving a lot, is about the North-South Freeway. You spoke at the legislature and you said that any pause would be bad for Spokane's economy. What did you mean by that, and where do things stand right now?
Well, this is a project that's been in the making for decades. I mean, it's been under construction for more than 20 years, talked about for about 70. So we want to make sure that that's not delayed. We have contracts that are active and people working on that job. We don't want to pause. The impacts of that project, economic development, housing, environment, all of those things are extremely important to our community. The thing that's really great about the push to make sure that we're continuing to fund that project is it's been a bipartisan one. So people on all sides of the aisle, state lawmakers, city council, administration, we're all working to make sure that that project moves forward. So yes, 2 weeks ago I was at the state legislature talking to House Transportation Committee members and the chair to make sure that we move forward. And it sounds like, keep our fingers crossed, that we'll continue to get the funding we need to make sure that that building, or that very important transportation corridor continues.
All right, thank you, Mayor Woodward, for spending some time with us this morning and for answering all of our questions and our viewer questions as well.
Thanks for having me here.